Hi, this is Gina Nash, Atlanta's own condo queen, and this is my then, now, and next. Becoming an entrepreneur was something that was kind of embedded into my family. Most of all my immediate family, whether it's my grandfather, my dad, my aunts, my uncles, they all had their own businesses. So I learned and watched them do their own thing. Um, One of my biggest admirer person was my grandfather. I watched my grandfather, who actually raised me, by the way, watched him actually build his business from ground zero. He started out doing small jobs such as brick masonry, and to the point to where he was one of the largest real estate developers in Louisiana. He built homes for a living, and then it actually graduated up to commercial space. And I just watched him do that, and I thought it was one of the most amazing things to watch a person take some dirt and turn it into an amazing piece of art. So that was one of my admirers for getting into business or getting into the level of real estate. My grandmother, she actually worked in $1 million homes back then. She was actually a housekeeper cleaning homes. So I would go into these big, beautiful properties and just like dream of owning something or being in something so immaculate. And once I got older, even though when I took a different direction, I went off to college, I wanted to be a dancer, I did that, I did some background dancing. But once it was time to come home and figure out my life, I actually got into the mortgage industry because I thought, hey, I needed a job. So I worked for Countrywide Home Loans. I was there for over 18 years, and that was my life, is going to this 9 to 5 job every single day, stressed out, even though I was making six figures, but I wasn't enjoying those six figures. And when the market crashed, my world crashed right along with it. This beautiful lifestyle that I built for myself and my family had started crumbling, and I didn't know what else to do. And I just remember them coming or calling me into a meeting and saying, hey, we have gotten bought out by Bank of America. You have an option. That option would be either to go work at Bank of America for half the income, or we would give you early retirement, give you severance. You can say you're retired, draw a pension, and be out. So I didn't know what else to do because remember, my lifestyle was built on the six-figure income. And I just said, you know what, you're right. I'm going to take this severance, I'm going to take this money, and I'm out. And I started my own company. And my company started out as actually not building, but renovating and working on foreclosed properties for HUD and Fannie Mae. And with that, I was meeting people that was interested in properties that I was working on. And I was giving those leads to other agents. And one day I was like, wait a minute, why am I doing that? I need to get my real estate license and do this on my own. So that's kind of how I stumbled into the world of real estate and selling properties that I was actually renovating. And it was amazing. I came to Atlanta about 5 years ago. And when I came here, I was already a real estate agent in Texas. And I was doing pretty well there, I would say. But when I came to Atlanta, I really didn't know if I wanted to really dive into the real estate industry here because I felt that, hey, I didn't know the city. And I remember I went to an event and I met a broker, and I told him, I was like, well, we kind of talked, and he was like, well, what are you doing? And I said, well, I really don't know what I want to do. I've done mortgages. I was an underwriter for years, and I currently have a real estate license in Texas, and I'll probably just go back and forth and just sell homes in Texas every now and then. And he said, well, why aren't you doing real estate in Atlanta? And I was like, well, I don't know the city. And he told me, well, do you have a cell phone? And I said, yeah. He said, well, you know Atlanta. I was like, what? He was like, that cell phone's going to take you everywhere you need to go. And I thought that was so crazy because he was actually right. I mean, nobody really knows Atlanta. Most of the people here probably migrated here. So he was kind of right with that cell phone because you just put in an address and it takes you wherever you want to go. So I was like, well, yeah, you're kind of right, but I don't know. And he was like, well, I tell you what, if you don't make six figures, $100,000 your first year doing real estate in Atlanta, then I'll pay you the difference. And I thought he was crazy as hell to say that, and I took his ass up on it. I took him up on the offer, and I started selling, working with him. And actually, I made, in that first year of me selling real estate, over $100,000. And that was in my pocket. And I was just like, he was right. I'm glad I listened. And I have been on this journey in real estate to making myself one of the top real estate agents in Atlanta. I've kind of cloned myself as being Atlanta's condo queen. And how I got to that place is coming from Texas, condos were not the biggest thing out there. Mostly single family homes was. But when I got here, I saw these big, tall, beautiful pieces of art. And these were buildings that people were living in and they were calling home. And so I sat down and I educated myself on them. I started visiting so many different properties and saw how amazing these units was. And I said, you know what? I need to learn everything that I need to know about condos. And I started educating myself on them. I determined to be one of Atlanta's biggest condo queens. It is my title. I own that title. And I own it because I sell so many of them. I'm always marketing in those places. I'm always visiting, getting to know the actual building managers and the place, the space itself. And by doing that, it has allowed me to introduce people who probably don't know a lot about condos. It allowed me to introduce them to them. Those are some amazing pieces of structure. And I think that if you don't know about condos, you need to learn about them because they are very safe, secure places, beautiful places, and they're good for, you know, the empty nesters or the millennials that really haven't decided what part of town they want to live in. And I am excited about this journey that I'm on. This next chapter in my real estate journey, I call it my Embracing 2020. I have so much amazing things that I want to do and that I am going to do. And one of the biggest things for me was to decide to open up a real estate school. So I will have Nash Real Estate Academy coming into effect January 2020. I've partnered with an amazing broker, Norman and Associates, and the school will be a space that has been brought to that brokerage, and it's open for anyone that's interested in getting into the real estate industry. I've moved myself also into the speaker and host space. My speaker is actually getting out and educating people, not just in the world of real estate, but just in general, women empowerment, growth, financial stability, those types of things. I am just excited about the journey I'm on. I'm looking to write a book. I want my own wine because I am a wine drinker, by the way. And I just have so much that I want to do in 2020. And I'm going to make sure that that chapter is fulfilled. It is the second part of my journey. I am over 40 and I am doing what I was destined to do. And that is just take this world by storm. It is so many opportunities in this real estate industry, and I want to capture each and every part of it. But going back to the school, I think, is one of my biggest accomplishments, I would say, so far in my career. I actually do a mentor program where I bring in agents that are looking to get into the real estate industry. I'm capturing these people before they actually get licensed, because one of the things that I've noticed is that when people get their license, they spend the next 2 months learning systems and figuring out, okay, what do? I got my license, now what? So I'm doing a reverse of that. I'm actually taking them through the process of what it is to be a realtor before they get their license. So when they do get their license, they're ready to go. So my school spaces allow me to do that and to bring the world of real estate to other inspired real estate agents and teach them the right way to do this business and be successful while they're doing it. As I said, I'm moving into the speaker space, moving into the host space, and I'm just excited about that. And just the book, the wine, and it's just so much other stuff that I got going on. It's just so much to even talk about, but I'm just so excited about this next chapter, and I hope each and every one of you just kind of embrace your 2020 and make a plan for yourself and be very successful in whatever you choose to do. Once again, this is Gina Nash, Atlanta's own condo queen. Make sure you follow me at Gina Sells GA on Instagram, Gina Nash, Gina Sells the City, and the Condo Queen on Facebook. Also visit my website at www.ginanash.com. And you'll be catching me really soon on a reality real estate show that's going to be produced right here in Atlanta. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I have Nash Real Estate Academy. Make sure you go to there, www.nashrealestateacademy.com, if you're really interested in getting into the real estate industry. So hope to see you in 2020. And again, embrace that 2020.